I'm going to do for y'all is a real new piece. It's very close to my heart. I get kind of emotional when I do it, but if y'all stick with me, I'll stick with you. We cool? Let's go. So about 3 days a week, I spend time teaching basic motor skills to young kids with autism at 8:30 in the morning. And don't get me wrong, it's a blessing, but you don't understand patience until you've tried to teach 18 autistic 8-year-olds itsy bitsy spider at 8:30 in the morning. But James makes my days better. He comes with a list of disorders longer than most felons' arrest records and a smile that turns those same felons into puppy dogs. And James can't even hit the notes. But if he could, he would belt them, note for note. You would hear Marvin Gaye's pain and Mahalia Jackson's praise coming from an 8-year-old. The way he jerks his head and shoulders just to get deeper inside the notes that he can't hit. And while I'm begging Terrence and Thomas to at least try to hum Mary Had a Little Lamb, James is by my side, bellowing God's gospel in all of the wrong notes, from lungs so small I can hold them in my hands, and when it comes time for them to play, James drags me out into the hallway and says we should sing Amazing Grace together. So we do, over and over until it sounds just like he wants. A note held longer here, a little higher there. I call him my Sultan of Soul, and even though he doesn't know what I'm talking about, he's still proud of it. One day, he walks into the back room where he knows he shouldn't be, looks at my face as CNN tells the tale of another school shooting, and he says, "Are those people on TV in trouble?" And then without waiting for an answer, he says, "Don't worry, Jesus is there." And y'all, I want to tell him I stopped believing in Jesus when I couldn't understand why Jesus would stunt the kind of humanity I see in him. I want to turn around and I say, "I think God screwed you, little boy." I want to turn around and say, "I don't understand why God spent so much time taking flaws away from you instead of taking them from me." Y'all, but I don't. How could I? Look at him. He's innocent and quirky. He scratches the left side of his face with his right hand. He is as sweet as Christmas morning. He is as graceful as dishes breaking. And y'all, I still watch him like I watch snowfall. In silence. Within the last couple of months, due to a blood disorder, James had become sick. And I would visit him when I could. Walked into his hospital room one day as he asked me if I remembered to brush my teeth. And I said yes. And then he asked me if I remembered to comb my hair. And I said yes. And then he asked me if I believed in Jesus. And I stood there shocked. And y'all, I could see through this young boy's conviction that God is going to find me whether I want God to or not. Calling me through a face that I can't deny. And y'all, for the first time in a long time, I said, yeah, y'all, God uses James like an instrument. And even though his notes are bent, they are still beautiful. Like they came from a scale God tailored himself, tuned to the key of conviction. And I pray to God a lot more in the last couple of weeks, because I know James is up there with him, singing Amazing Grace in all the wrong notes, just like we practiced. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. God bless James Marlon Williams, 2000 to 2008.